what's up guys? My name is Zach, and for the last 7 days I've been driving the 2024 Toyota Corolla SE Hybrid all-wheel drive. Up front is a 1.8 liter inline 4, as well as a hybrid system, and down below is an eCVT. Now I am super excited to be making this video because I've spent the last 7 days driving this hybrid Corolla around. I've absolutely loved it. There are certain drawbacks for sure, and so for $30,000 I think this car is a really good option, and I'm excited to share with you why I think that. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that hybrid drivetrain. Well, like I said up front, is a little 4-cylinder that already sips on gas. That's nothing new, but Toyota has given this their hybrid system as well, although it is not a plug-in hybrid. It is a fully self-contained system, which we'll get to in a second. Driving feel and power, it's okay. It's still a Corolla. It's not quick or fast, even with the all-wheel drive system, which is all-wheel drive, meaning there's an electric motor at the back wheel, so there's no drive shaft that goes between the front and rear of the vehicle like you would find in the GR Corolla that has a performance all-wheel drive system with 2 differentials. This just has an electric motor at the back helping out with the front. The question on everyone's mind is, how efficient is it? What miles per gallon can I anticipate in my Corolla hybrid? Around town, I average 42 to 43 miles to the gallon, which is spectacular. However, I did hypermile it in a video. There's a full video about that I'll link at the end. And so if you haven't watched that and you don't want it spoiled, close your eyes now. Here's what I got on the highway trying to hypermile it, and you can open your eyes now. So, pretty dang efficient. The transmission hasn't been too worrisome. I'm normally not a big fan of eCVTs. However, it's been doing the job fine. I haven't really noticed. And last but not least, as I mentioned, it is all-wheel drive due to the help with that electric motor. How does it feel to drive the Toyota Corolla hybrid all-wheel drive? Feels very normal. It does feel a lot like a Prius for very obvious reasons, but it's very simple to operate. There's no learning curve because it is a hybrid. If you've never owned a hybrid before, you're not gonna have to read the manual book before you can go to Dairy Queen in it. No, you just get in and drive it like any normal car. It does switch between electric and gasoline on its own, and sometimes, like in park, it could be a little jerky when the engine does start. However, driving on the highway doing 80 miles an hour, it'll switch between electric and gas, and you don't notice it at all. So props to the Toyota engineers for that. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 2 physical gauges and a screen. Off to the left is my tachometer and coolant temperature, and off to the right is my speedometer and fuel. And then in the center, I get that little digital readout, like I said, that's giving me a lot of really good information that I quite like here in the Corolla Hybrid. Cycling through it now, it's very colorful, it's easy to read, and I like all of that. On the steering wheel, on the left, we have our selectors for that gauge cluster screen, as well as our phone options, volume and voice commands. And off to the right, we have our adaptive cruise along with lane centering system, mode, and skip track. Off to the left, we have a climate control vent. And down below, we have our gauge dimmer switch, automatic high beams, traction control off, and our gas cap release. Moving on to the door, we have our power mirrors, power locks, and power windows. And moving back into the center, we get our infotainment system. It is touchscreen. It does offer wireless Apple CarPlay, and I've quite enjoyed it. It's not the highest resolution thing in the world. It's not gonna really knock your socks off. However, it's been good and adequate for what I've wanted it to do, which has been a positive thing. Here is the backup camera in case you were curious about the quality of it. It's not great, but it's not terrible either, so I'm happy enough with it. Down below, we have 2 climate control vents with the hazard switch and the climate controls themselves. No dual zone. Definitely would have liked to have seen dual zone. However, it's not a deal breaker in a smaller vehicle like this. I just always personally prefer it. And then down below all that, you'll find a wireless charger as well as a USB-C port. And we have our drive mode select. So we have Sport, Eco, and Normal. Pretty self-explanatory there. And then, of course, we do have EV mode, which you can engage at any point at slow speeds. At higher speeds, it will force you to use the gasoline engine, but around town, you can chuck it into EV. EV mode if you have enough charge. Then we do have the shifter in the center, very standard traditional Toyota shifter, nothing new there. Cup holders down below, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test, and unfortunately it fails. It sort of holds the bottle weird. It looks like it does pass, but the bottom is curved, so it just flops around and doesn't hold it still enough. So it is a fail. However, just for you, Kurt, my Detroit Lions cup does in fact fit. So something fits, but just not the big friggin' bottle. Off to the left, we do have our auto holding brake and power parking brake, and the center console does have a 12-volt outlet and USB-C charger in it. The seats are a little hard. They weren't uncomfortable in my road trip in this vehicle for 6 hours, actually 7 hours. However, I don't love them. I think they're okay. I think they do the job, and that's pretty much it. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the Toyota Corolla Hybrid, and it's not great. My head is almost hitting the ceiling. My knees are coming very close to the seat in front of me. This is my driving position. And the seats themselves are very hard because the hybrid battery is down here. We don't want to pierce or puncture that in any way. So the seats in turn have to be pretty stiff so you don't sink down too low. Otherwise, I do have power windows. I do get a fold down center console with 2 cup holders in there and 2 USB-C chargers, but that's it. That is the very basic back seat, however, very functional back seat, which I like to see. Let's hop into the back and talk about the trunk. Right around the back of the Toyota Corolla SE Hybrid all-wheel drive, and I have my equipment box back here for scale. As you can see, the trunk is pretty decently sized. I was very happy on my trip up to Michigan with all my luggage in the back, and a full-size vacuum cleaner fit in here very, very easily. I would bet that you could fit 2 or 3 full-size vacuum cleaners. Yes, I am now a proud owner of a vacuum cleaner for the first time in my life. So very, very cool to see all of that rear trunk space. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and well, first of all, I apologize if the video is a little bit shakier than usual. I sprained my ankle, and so the walk around was a little bit tougher to do this time, but I do love this red color. I love this generation and era of Corolla. I think it looks very good, and every day walking out to it has been a positive experience. I think visually seeing it in my driveway, seeing it in my garage has been really, really nice, and it's a vehicle that I would feel proud of if I owned it myself. However, with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think, having driven the 2024 Toyota Corolla Hybrid SE all-wheel drive for the last 7 days? Well, I have put some serious mileage here on this Corolla, as you might have seen in the hyper-miling video, and I've really, really, truly enjoyed it. If you can put up with this interior, I do think the interior is the weakest part of this car because it is just very bland and very boring. However, Toyota has always done bland and boring interiors since their conception. That's just part of it. If you could get past this, I think this is one of the best daily drivers you could physically buy. First of all, averaging 43 miles to the gallon is absolutely wonderful. You're not going to pay out the nose at the pump because you're being so efficient. And if you do want to hyper mile it on the highway, you can and get really good fuel economy. It has wireless Apple CarPlay. It has adaptive cruise control. It has AC. Has a backup camera, even though all cars legally are required to. It's a pretty decent package for $30K. Like I said, are you gonna show off at the red carpet? Are people gonna drop their things and jaws hit the floor when you pull up in your Corolla Hybrid? No, but that's never ever been the motto of Toyota. Toyota themselves will never say it, but their true motto is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. And this is it. It's as straightforward as it could come here in 2024 while being incredibly efficient. So, would I want to own one? Yes. Do I think you should own one? Yes. And when it checks both of those boxes, it's a pretty dang good car. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Toyota for loaning me this vehicle for the last week to try out. Huge thank you to Drive Shop for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of the vehicle. And of course, the Midwestern Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.